All right, buckle up because we're diving into a world of robots, heartwarming stories, and some seriously stunning animation, all thanks to the film The Wild Robot.
Sounds intriguing.
It is, and the reviews have me hooked already. We're talking about opinions from everyday moviegoers like you and me, alongside those professional critic breakdowns, the ones who dissect every frame.
And I'm guessing we've got some IMDb data sprinkled in for
Yeah.
good measure.
It's amazing how much insight you can gain from those ratings and stats. But let's get back to those reviews, shall we? One in particular caught my eye because it made a pretty bold comparison. Ready for this?
I'm all ears.
They called the wild robot this generation's Bambi.
Wow. Okay, now that's a statement.
Right, it definitely makes you think. What do you make of that comparison? What are they getting at?
Well, it's certainly a powerful parallel to draw. I mean, Bambi is more than just a children's film, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It delves into profound themes, loss, resilience, our connection to nature, and it resonates with viewers of all ages, often on a deeply emotional level.
It's true. Bambi stays with you.
Right. So the reviewer might be suggesting that The Wild Robot captures that same kind of emotional depth, that it speaks to something universal, regardless of age.
That's a great point. And it actually makes me think about how many reviewers are mentioning the complex themes this film tackles. Things like empathy, the search for belonging, even disability representation, which is so important to see on screen.
Absolutely. And it's woven into the narrative so organically, according to the reviews. There's no sense of being preachy or heavy-handed.
Exactly. It seems to unfold very naturally. Which leads me to a question. Do you think there's something unique about animation that allows it to explore these sensitive subjects in a way that live action might not be able to?
That's a really interesting question. There's definitely something disarming about animation. It allows viewers to connect with characters and stories in a different way, perhaps a deeper way sometimes.
I can see that.
Take Pixar's Up, for example. The way they handle grief in those opening minutes is nothing short of masterful. It's such powerful storytelling, and I think animation played a big role in that.
It's true. It's like animation gives us permission to process these bigger, sometimes tougher emotions through a different lens. Okay, shifting gears for a moment because one critic's description of the animation style in particular caught my eye. Are you ready for this? They called it a Monet painting in a Miyazaki forest.
Wow, okay. That's quite a visual.
Right. I mean, talk about vivid imagery.
It definitely paints a picture, or should I say, sets the scene.
Okay, so walk us through this. What can we gather about the film's visual style based on that description? What's the overall feel?
Well, when you think about Monet, you think vibrant colors, almost impressionistic, right?
Definitely.
And there's a focus on light and texture. Now, combine that with Miyazaki Forest, and suddenly we're transported to those lush, almost magical landscapes often seen in Studio Ghibli films.
Ah, I love those films.
Right, so it seems safe to say that The Wild Robot is a visual feast, a blend of realistic natural beauty with that touch of whimsy and wonder we often see in those films.
It sounds like my kind of film already. Now, for context, how do you think this style compares to other animated films, especially those from a powerhouse like DreamWorks?
Well, that's where it gets interesting. We know this was Chris Sanders' final film at the helm of DreamWorks' in-house animation studio.
Really? I didn't realize that.
Yes, and he's known for a very distinct style.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you've got Lilo and Stitch, How to Train Your Dragon. His work always has that perfect blend of heartwarming characters, action-packed sequences, and of course, stunning animation.
He's definitely left his mark.
Without a doubt. So I think there's an expectation that The Wild Robot will deliver on that same level, both visually and narratively. The big question is, did he go out with a bang?
Oh, let's find out. Before we get into that, though.
From what I've gathered, it seems like he did go out with a bang.
Okay, I like where this is going.
The reviews suggest The Wild Robot is a real triumph, praising the humor, that emotional depth we talked about, and its ability to resonate with a wide audience. They're calling it a fitting addition to his filmography.
That's fantastic to hear. It's always a little bittersweet, though, right? When a director with such a unique vision wraps up their time at a studio.
It is, but it sounds like he's leaving on a definite high note.
Agreed. Okay, so we've got this heartwarming story, stunning animation. Let's talk about the voices behind these characters because, wow, the casting director deserves a raise.
Seriously, they pulled together a seriously impressive lineup for this film.
Lupita Nyong'o, Pedro Pascal, talk about star power.
They really brought their A game to this.
What are the reviews saying about the performances? Anything stand out?
The voice acting is consistently highlighted as a major strength of the film. Lupita Nyong'o, in particular, is receiving rave reviews for her portrayal of Roz.
I can only imagine. She's such a talented actress. What are they saying about what she brings to the character?
They're praising her ability to convey so much with just her voice. Roz starts as this innocent robot, newly awakened in the world,
Yay.
and you can hear that initial wonder, that naivety in her voice. But then, as Roz adapts, as she connects with the creatures around her, you hear that compassion and understanding deepening.
I love that. It reminds me of just how much weight voice actors carry, especially in animation. They really have to deliver those emotions, that depth, with just their voices. It's no easy feat.
Exactly.
Okay, and what about Pedro Pascal? He's known for that charisma of his. Did that translate well into his character, Fink the Fox?
It seems so. The consensus is that he brought that same charisma, even a bit of his trademark humor, to the role.
Oh, I love that.
It's mentioned that Fink initially appears as an antagonist, but undergoes some pretty significant character development throughout the film.
Interesting. A little redemption arc.
It seems that way.
Okay, I'm here for it. Now, speaking of captivating audiences, can we talk about the numbers for a moment?
Yeah.
Because IMDb has The Wild Robot sitting at a very impressive 8.5 out of 10 stars.
That's fantastic,
Hmm.
especially when you consider how many user reviews factor into that score.
It's a lot.
It is, and to have it that high suggests a really high level of satisfaction among viewers.
Yeah, people enjoyed this film. And it wasn't just critical acclaim either. This film also did really well at the box office, bringing in almost $150 million worldwide.
Wow.
What do you think that says about how the film has landed with audiences?
Well, it clearly resonated with a lot of people around the world. I mean, that combination of strong reviews and box office success suggests that this is a film that entertained, certainly, but also probably resonated on a deeper, more emotional level.
I'm always curious, what elements of a film do you think lead to those post-movie discussions?
I think it often boils down to the themes a film chooses to explore, the questions it raises. With The Wild Robot, it seems those themes of finding your place in the world, the importance of empathy, of understanding, the power of connection,
Right?
those are all universal ideas. They resonate with people of all ages.
It's true. Okay, so we've covered a lot. We've talked about those glowing reviews, the animation style, that stellar voice acting, even the film's success. But the big question on everyone's mind is, I'm sure, is The Wild Robot worth watching?
Based on everything we've discussed, the reviews, the themes, it sounds like a resounding yes. The Wild Robot seems like a genuinely enriching cinematic experience.
All right, you've convinced me. Adding it to my watch list for sure. And it's those deeper themes that really pique my interest. Like one review mentioned how Roz has to, and I'm quoting here, become more than she was programmed to be. Which got me thinking, how can we connect with that idea?
It's a powerful message, isn't it?
Yeah.
About growth, adaptability. I mean, in a way, we all have our own internal programming,
I
right?
like that, our own programmer.
Our upbringing, our experiences, the belief systems we develop along the way, they all shape us. But, and I think this is key, life rarely goes according to plan.
Tell me about it.
So we're constantly challenged to adapt, evolve, discover new facets of ourselves. Roz's journey really embodies that, embracing the unknown, forging those connections.
Finding her own path.
Exactly.
And it's interesting because it's like that saying, life begins at the edge of your comfort zone, right? When we step outside those pre-programmed boxes, that's where the real growth happens.
I completely agree. And it sounds like The Wild Robot illustrates that beautifully, encouraging us to challenge those assumptions, embrace change, recognize the potential that comes from forging our own unique paths.
It's a powerful message to take away from any film. And this deep dive, wow, we've been on quite a journey. Heartwarming reviews, captivating animation, and of course those thought-provoking themes really makes you think.
It's been a pleasure exploring the world of The Wild Robot with you. It's clear this film has a lot to offer on so many different levels.
Absolutely. I think it reminds us that there's always more beneath the surface, and it's up to us to dive in and discover it. So to our listeners, if you're looking for something that will stay with you long after the credits roll, The Wild Robot might be just the ticket. And as you watch Roz navigate her journey, think about those ways in which you too can become more than what you were programmed to be. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and as always, keep diving deep.